Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Out for Lunch podcast, where we dive into the most pressing topics for you, our partner ecosystem. I'm your host, Grifyn.mcerlean. Our guest today is part of the strategic partner portfolio team, currently focusing on generative AI partnerships, Andy Mulumba. Prior to joining SAP and joining the tech world, he spent some time playing in the NFL, the National Football League, and much of his mindset and values from being a professional athlete at the highest level can be translated in his work today. The topic that we're going to be discussing today is the topic of business AI, artificial intelligence, and we're going to dive into exactly what this is, how it fits into SAP's broader strategy, what its capabilities are, and what the role of the partner is. So let's jump in and see what Andy is having for lunch.
I had a salad for lunch. Just decided to go light today. I've been eating quite a lot the past 3 days, so I needed to check myself.
Check yourself a bit, get back on the routine.
Get back on a good routine, so I decided to go for a salad.
Okay, nice. I like it. But yeah, Andy, thank you so much for coming on. We're diving into an exciting topic in the business world, generative AI, artificial intelligence. And you are our master, our guru in this area. So we're looking forward to to speaking with you about it.
Well, thanks, Griffin, but I wouldn't raise the the expectation like Master Guru. Well, I'm deep into it.
Yeah.
It's a fast evolving subject.
Yeah.
So, and you learn something new every day. So it's pretty exciting. I'm excited to be in it, and I love learning about it. So, any way I can provide some guidance and some feedback on what we do here at SAP, happy to do so.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, thanks for coming on. I feel like when people hear the term artificial intelligence, maybe they jump to kind of two different ideas of it. One being maybe the kind of popularized by the media or by literature or by movies of this kind of sentient computer that is, conveying human emotions, and maybe people have fears of it, oh, is it going to take over the world? Things like that. And then the other side of it, maybe they jump to, heavily popularized in the last year or so, ChatGPT, the software where you punch in a prompt, whether it's, help me finish this code or help me, write a script for this 30-second advertising, commercial that we're doing, to, goofy things like, help me write a poem about this latest Taylor Swift album, things like this. So that may be where the other mind goes. But what we're talking about today is generative AI in the business context and what that means for transforming businesses, transforming business processes, and really what that is, what SAP is doing to facilitate that, to help customers, partners, even internally our processes. So I guess my first question to you is, what is generative AI? And I'm sure there's a lot of terminology related to it. So if you can touch on some of the kind of the big terms in that space as well.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And I'm glad we're talking about it in a business context, make it easier, right? But there are a lot of terminology that are related to Gen AI. Let's say, first of all, if you start the foundation models, right? This is basically where a neural network, which is a method where in artificial intelligence that teaches the computer to process data in a way that is inspired by the human brain, right? And then it's trained on a large volume of unlabeled data using self-supervised learning. And that can be applied then into so many downstream tasks, right? So for the non-technical user, basically, this is where let's say they can solve their business task by describing them in a natural language, as you and I are speaking right now, right? So as you would write also in the prompt. So this is one of the key terminology. And then you go into the large language model, which is a subcategory of a foundation model for text and computer code. And for the large language models, or LLM, basically the task is to learn to predict the next word in the text, right? As it's being trained on billions of words. So it's predicting the next best word that will come up as you prompt something into the UI. And then you get that generative AI piece where this is the way it creates an output, like the next word, an image, a sound, right, or a video just based on a simple prompt that the user has put on. And the generative AI piece is quite great because after the data is being trained and you do a little bit of adaptation techniques, such as prompt engineering and orchestration to describe a specific task in a natural language, and then there are other ways to enhance the result or enhance the knowledge to adapt these LLM, which is called embedding, and then also they're also fine tuning, where you can improve the performance for tasks with few labeled data. Um, so these are within the context of a generative AI, some of the adaptation techniques that comes to mind. And of course, you have ChatGPT, which everyone will perhaps know and remember since I guess the big announcement in November. It's just been picking up since, right? It's been gaining more value. People are using it in their day-to-day for personal activities, business activities, just to enhance their productivity. So, and the other, besides ChatGPT, there are other models as well that are available there, but we won't go into it because there seems to be one coming up every day.
Yeah.
But in general, that's basically a little bit around the terminology for generative AI.
Okay, cool. And yeah, you said like it's becoming more and more prevalent in kind of maybe the everyday person's life, outside of the business case. But I mean, like you said, with the foundation models, with these LLMs, the large language models that are predicting what you're planning to do and learning and getting smarter and smarter, those cases in the business context can be extremely useful. And we're going to touch on some of those today, but we're new into this. This is relatively new wave that's happening in the world. So I'm sure there's some sort of limitations to what the foundation model, the neural network that you were talking about, that learns from processing data generated by humans. I'm sure there's limitations to this. So let's touch on these limitations first, and then we'll kind of jump into how it plays a role into the SAP strategy. And I want to know about kind of the capabilities of all this software as well. So what are the limitations of what you spoke about, the foundation models?
Yeah, the first one I can think of is how expensive they are to train, right? Because they take so much compute power. They're very expensive. And the other key technical limitation that these LLM have will be they have no notion of time or chronological order. And they're also limited into doing math, or not too limited, but it's a hit or miss with them. But they're getting better. You have a few of these new vendors that are coming up with great technique and that are training their model to pass some of the, I guess, the most difficult exams right out there. But also the training aspect requires a huge effort, and this is something companies need to take in consideration, right? For when they go to choose these models to use them in an enterprise setting, is the bigger the size, the more expensive it is to just train, maintain, and fine tune, right? So you have to take that in consideration within your strategy on how you're going to move forward, or which model you're going to work with based on the cost. So this is basically some of the limitation that I'm seeing out there. There are many more, but at least for our audience to know a little bit more what we're dealing with.
Yeah, and like I said, yeah, it's not perfect. It's always evolving, and it's something that businesses and partners and customers need to be aware of when selecting this. They need to, it's not you just get it, you purchase it, and it's perfect. It's something that requires a lot of maintenance to maintain, like you said, and keep updated. SAP has rolled this out into a big strategic push of ours to integrate and embed AI into a lot of our services, a lot of our solutions. So we're obviously trying to capitalize and integrate AI into our business, not only for us, but for our partners, for our customers. I'm just wondering if, what is the role SAP or generative AI, is playing in SAP's overall strategy? How are we doing this? What is changing? Things like that.
No, I think not a lot will be changing. I think SAP will keep that same approach where we embed AI within
Yep.
our technology, right? But we do understand that this is a disruptive technology that will shift our business, and it will change our business is run and our decisions are made, and also our some of the day-to-day processes are optimized. So our overall strategy is to put generative AI in business context, but to deliver in a way that is relevant, reliable, and responsible, given the technical limitation and some of the risks that are out there, right? So it's important to have that relevant, reliable, and responsible AI being applied to generative AI in this context. At the same time, it's also good to build a foundation. Our strategy will have to have a foundation where we just leverage SAP's unique access to the business data, right, to build the SAP specific foundational model that are adhering to our product standard and requirement. And trust me, these are very tough to pass. Working with some of the partners on that, but they know that in order to work with SAP, they have to be to adhere to those product standard and requirement. We do also look at, how do we build everything around it? We look at different approaches in the market, some of the market maps, some of the new vendors that are coming up, how do they fit within the white space? Because we can't build everything ourselves. We have to accelerate our time to market. We have to accelerate our the release of our products. So we look at some partners as well in the space, and we also do a lot of research and trying to understand a little bit more in depth where these capabilities can take us in the next few years. And the generative AI is, I guess, is new, but AI, we've been doing AI for quite some time. SAP has been doing AI for quite some time, right? So it's basically this new capabilities will just be added to, will expand our footprint, right, by optimizing and prioritizing some of the other business processes and drive some the outcome to for our customer adoption. So because we've been doing AI for a long time, because we've been embedding AI in our technology, this is a way to add more capabilities and just make sure that we stay on top of what's coming up. We stay in the innovation phase with our customer, but also as a company, and making it accessible to our customer, making it accessible to our partner. We have to have a solid platform, right? Our business technology platform, which I think Thorsten came last week, and Jagdish, right? So they were talking around the business technology platform. This is an open platform that we use to offer business specific services to integrate with third-party AI services. So we will be offering the Gen AI to the BTP, so our customer and partner can also access it in those terms. And the ecosystem is key. As I said earlier, we can't build everything ourselves. We have to rely on our ecosystem to enable them to build use cases on top of the business technology platform, which in turn really enriches our portfolio. Again, this is, within all that, the generative AI piece is integrated, right? And customer will be hopefully seeing the benefit. But that is a little bit of the gist of our strategy around this new technology.
Gotcha. And you said that you brought up some of the capabilities that this is going to offer once this is kind of, fully rolled out and we're, really acting on this strategy. So, I mean, what are some of the capabilities? You spoke about kind of what it is and what some of the terminology was in terms of, we spoke about them before, but, what are some of the capabilities that this will allow for partners and customers? How is this going to change their business? Like, what is the value proposition of generative AI to partners, prospective partners, or customers that are involved with us at SAP?
Yeah, I mean, the value proposition is really the new incremental type of business outcome it'll bring to the table. Let's say it will enhance your business processes, as we did mention earlier. I think it will change how decisions are made again, but it depends in which specific area. Let's say we have in the human capital, or I mean HXM, I would say in human experience. I shouldn't use the
Yeah,
acronyms
the
here.
internal, I live, breathe, and sleep in acronyms here. So
Yeah, human experience. We have a lot of some stuff around process AI for Signavio, and how to improve processes within Signavio, how to decrease tasks by a significant amount of time, right? So there are great capabilities, but all of them come up into into some themes that we're seeing that that generative AI will bring to the table. So either summarization, content creation, code generation, and many more, right? So these are some of the themes that are coming up, capabilities that these LLM are bringing to the table. And the user, the product owner, really thinks around how does he then enhance what he already has based on these new capabilities, right? So it's pretty neat. It's great, but I like to keep. I mean, it's great that it kind of falls within these buckets: summarization, code generation, basically content generation, and many more. So it's great into that sense, and I see it as being a game changer for us and what we're already doing within the AI area, I would say.
yeah. I mean, it sounds like the way you describe it is just it's a tool to really simplify and streamline a lot of business processes that may have been done a certain way for a long time, and then it can just kind of clean up the way that you do your business in a way that makes it simpler and smoother and run better in general. So excited to see where that goes. Particularly for the partners. That's who our audience is with this podcast. We are obviously trying to embed partners in everything we do. On every episode we've talked about, we've emphasized the role that partners play in everything that we do here at SAP. So you spoke about building the use cases, building what the AI is actually going to be used for. So what is the role of the partners in SAP's Gen AI strategy, and why is it so important? Why is it so important to have partners, work with us in this space?
Yeah, and it's SAP, we call it Business AI. So it's not just the AI, the Gen AI strategy, it's the Business AI, because we also include the AI we've been doing in the past. And as we said earlier, our pillar is really to embed AI into our application, right? This is known. And then we compete into the Business AI category by offering enterprise-ready, context-specific process and embedded application. But then we do make sure to scale by exposing those relevant AI services for extension via the BTP technology platform, business technology platform, excuse me. And with that, we're able to scale with our partner, right? Whether they are our global service partner, our software partner, the native application vendors, we're able to scale that by either they can resell those capabilities or building on top of the business technology platform for their large customer as well. And we want to make sure that extensibility really reaches out the majority of our partner, and we have a broad ecosystem of partners, and we want to drive the adoption of the business technology platform. So building on top, leveraging the capabilities that are embedded into our solution is a great way to remain within the context of SAP, what we offer already, and make sure that you can pass that on to the customer. So partner will play a great role into the business AI strategy, and we will make those services available to them as well. So it's an exciting time both for customer and partners.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, partners are an extension of us. They add so much that we can't provide, and that they reach customers that we can't reach. So having partners in our corner, in everything, let alone just, the business AI case, is phenomenal. So for partners listening to this that want to get involved, or maybe haven't gotten involved, or just want to know more about business AI in general, if they're listening right now, is there a call to action for them once hearing this? What should they do moving forward?
Yeah, no, we have a lot of asset being made available to partner right now. Basically, the partner enablement journey with business AI. They can find it on the Partner Edge portal. We've posted our SAP Business AI white paper on the portal, where they can read a little bit around our strategy. There are some content around for business AI customer, and also roadmap on capabilities that are coming up. On top of that, there are also ways that partner, if they're not familiar with the business technology platform, will offer coaching and services to help them understand what is available, how does the business technology platform, the integration piece, and also they will have access to partner enablement boot camps and all that. And with this technology, we tend to fear what we don't understand, right? But however, I think the best way to learn around this Gen AI is to get our hands dirty, to understand how these things work, and to understand how they apply into our day-to-day or in the business context, right? So it's that experimentation that is key. And you fail fast, you move on, you write your lesson learned, and you adjust and adapt, right? So it's a little bit of that sports mentality where you practice throughout the week, so you can have something to present to the fan, or to bring to the game on Sunday. It's that same process with this technology. I say that as an evolution, as the week goes or as time goes. Let's say if I take the football example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, by the time we get to Friday, we should be fine-tuning, being ready to deliver on Sunday. So, but we go from the installation, practice, or a film review, and then Friday, Saturday, it's basically where we fine-tune everything, and Sunday, that's when we deliver. So I see it the same in this context, and definitely with some of the enablement that we're providing to partners, this is something they can also leverage to make sure they don't miss the boat, right?
I love it. And I'm a sports guy too, so I love when the sports analogies get dug into the business analogies. I think it's great. So partners, go get your hands dirty. All the links that Andy just mentioned, I'll throw in the description of this episode. But Andy, before I let you go, we do have a staple question here to close off the podcast. And I know you've listened to previous ones, so you got a sneak peek. You cheated. We like to keep it a surprise, but I mean, can't always do that. But Andy, if you could have lunch with anybody, famous person, celebrity, icon, alive or dead, who would you have lunch with?
Great question. Because I cheated, I was gonna say Thorson Leidak, but that was just an internal joke. I think it would be the late Kobe Bryant, because after his passing, I started to kind of listen more to him and looking at his videos, but it was misunderstood as an athlete, and it was just because of his work ethic. He developed that at such a young age, and through his story that he was telling, and the support he got from his dad, whether he had a game with 0 point or a game with 60 point, his dad telling him that he still love him the same, and that stuck with him. And also the fact that he had to prove himself all the time since he was a young kid, right? And that stuck with him. And yeah, I would have loved to spend some time with him, go to lunch with him, and just get that mindset. Because I would be honest, I was one of the person who misunderstood Kobe. I thought he was very selfish. However, it was more that member mentality, right? That instinct where it doesn't I guess it doesn't decrease his standard for anybody, right? He would wake up at 4 every day, would be in the gym at 4 every day, let's say.
He's got a very high bar for himself, and he expects that of others.
Yes. Yeah,
as well.
indeed.
And I think for a lot, he raised a lot of his teammates up because of that. And
Yep.
Kobe would have been great too. I mean, not only from his, spectacular career that he had, but it seemed as though he was on a trajectory to become a real business mogul and make waves in kind of the business world as well.
Indeed.
So obviously a shame that had taken place, but great answer. I'm a big Kobe fan and a Lakers fan as well. So love to talk about the Lakers. But Andy, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm excited to see where business AI goes in the next couple of years. Maybe in 5 years, I'll re-listen to this episode and see what we got wrong, what we did right, and where it is now. But thank you so much for coming on, partners. I hope you enjoyed, and Andy, enjoy the rest of your day.
Many thanks, Grifyn. I appreciate the time. Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Out for Lunch podcast, and a big thank you to Andy for joining me in the diner. For more information about Business AI, or if you'd like to leave a review of the episode, please see the links in the description. Have a great day, and as always, stay hungry for more information.